Tonight, a neighbor credited with saving lives at one Ottawa home.
They start going downstairs, kicking doors, and they evacuate everybody from the basement.
But now many questions about that blaze and another on the weekend, both described as suspicious and under investigation. More and more people going into local stores not to shop, but to steal.
If something walks out the door $100 or $200 worth of something, that could be their profit for the day.
Why retail theft is up and how it's impacting the businesses you frequent. And marking a tragic anniversary at a local school.
There was mayhem in the classroom. Somebody picked up a chair and just smashed the window.
50 years ago today, Canada's second school shooting shook Ottawa to its core. Good evening. We begin tonight with two arson investigations stemming from fires over the weekend. One blaze displaced 6 people, but they all managed to escape safely after a neighbor jumped into action to help get them out. That fire happened at a home on Belcourt Boulevard in Orleans around 9:30 yesterday morning. The other on Clairvaux Crescent near Innes Road. CTV's Katie Griffin is here with the details. Katie.
Well, Patricia, police say the two fires are not believed to be connected. Whether there were working smoke alarms will be part of the overall investigation, but the neighbor who rushed in says he didn't hear anything.
The fire started right in that corner right there.
And Serge Pinard, a former volunteer firefighter, jumped into action.
Started going downstairs, kicking doors, and they evacuated everybody from the basement. And I came back outside to get some more air because I was getting smoke there in my lungs, you know, and then I went back in, and then there was still one more guy who was not out, and I kicked the door, and he was getting dressed, and he finally got out.
Ottawa fire crews were called to this Belcourt Boulevard home with multiple tenants on Sunday morning.
Then I walked over and I saw the flames just going up the wall. So my buddy here, he was outside, so I said, call the fire department right away. We got a big problem here.
Firefighters arriving on scene within minutes.
They were evacuated out of the structure due to dangerous conditions, fought the fire from the exterior, made their way back in, and confirmed that there was no one in the basement.
The Ottawa Police Arson Unit called in.
The fire's under investigation. It's deemed suspicious, so our fire investigators will now support the Ottawa Police Arson Unit.
The outpouring of support from the community was right away and within hours.
Alex Cote's dad, Michelle, was a tenant who escaped with only his coat, phone, and slippers.
Physically great. Mentally, it's a little hard. I know that, losing all of your stuff, and he did not have insurance, so it's hard to kind of rebuild from zero, but he's hanging in.
Despite the risk, Serge Pinard says he didn't think twice.
I'm there to save lives. It's not my first time I've done that, so like I said, once you're in, you don't think about yourself, you think about the other people, so that's the way I'm made.
That other suspicious fire was in a water utility room at a 3-story building under construction on Clairvaux Crescent. There were 2 separate fires there that had largely been put out by a broken water line by the time firefighters got there. Patricia?
All right, CTV's Katie Griffin live for us tonight. Thank you. We do have extended coverage of those 2 separate arson investigations. There are more stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Well, a man who was shot at a home in Centertown earlier this month has died of his injuries in hospital. He was found with gunshot wounds at a house on Somerset Street West near Kent Street on October 15th. Police say he died last Friday. He has been identified as 38-year-old Nelson Getson. Police are now investigating this as a homicide. There are no details on any suspects or arrests in the case, but police say there is no risk to public safety. There are new details tonight on crime in our city. Ottawa police say the number of criminal offences has risen steadily over the past decade, and one form of crime is far outpacing others. CTV's Austin Lee joins us live to break this down. Austin.
Yeah, Patricia, new numbers prepared for today's Ottawa Police Service Board meeting show shoplifting is on the rise. More than 12,000 shoplifting incidents were reported in 2024. That's an average of more than 33 per day, and it represents an increase of more than 380% over the past decade. Again, that far outpaces the increase in overall crime, which grew by 63% from 2015 to 2024, and that includes things like violent offenses, sexual offenses, and property crime. Ottawa's police chief, Eric Stubbs, says some businesses may be reluctant to report each shoplifting incident because there's so much paperwork, and it does take a lot of time to file a report. But he adds, without regular reporting, it's tough to identify and track down repeat offenders.
If something walks out the door, $100 or $200 worth of something, that could be their profit for the day that just walked out the door, and they won't make that up and have a net profit day of zero or worse. So we know that is an issue, and that's why it's important for them to report, so we know exactly who's doing what.
And it's not just in the nation's capital. Mike Dean local grocer locations across eastern Ontario and western Quebec are also noticing this troubling trend, with thieves stealing thousands of dollars worth of goods each month.
Where we can find something, we can track somebody, we can see it on all of our hundreds of cameras, we can issue a trespass notice to the individual, and then they come back the next day, and they come back the next day. It's the repetitiveness of what we can't accept, and it's not a $1.50 chocolate bar, it's $300 or $400 worth of meat.
Now, Dean says his stores are now ramping up security measures. They're installing one-way traffic barriers, chaining off closed checkout lanes, and more. So what's behind the rise in shoplifting? Well, there are a few factors. Of course, the rising cost of living is certainly a driving force, but Chief Stubbs also points to the increase in Ottawa's overall population and lingering effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Patricia.
CTV's Austin Lee live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, a new report asked the question, have we normalized poverty and kids going hungry in this country? New data shows just how many Canadians are relying on food banks across Canada, and many of them are children. CTV's Stephen Keys joins us now with the details on this, Steph.
Yeah, Patricia, Food Banks Canada says poverty and hunger are increasingly common as more people struggle to afford the rising cost of groceries. According to the report, there were close to 2.2 million visits in March of this year. That's up nearly 100% from 2019. The report also shows that 1 in 5 of those relying on food banks are employed, and 1/3 are children. Food Banks Canada is calling for legislative changes to tackle the crisis.
These aren't just big numbers. We can't get used to hearing these big numbers. These are real people. These are folks that you and I know. They're people that you live, work, and play with, and they go to food banks, and the enormous stress that causes on a community, on a society, is something that we need to change.
Food Banks Canada also says many of those who use food banks are employed. They just don't have the income needed to pay for all of their essentials. Food Banks Canada is calling on the federal government to develop a grocery and essentials benefit and reform employment insurance to stop people from falling into poverty after losing their jobs. Patricia.
Tough times, all right. CTV's Stephen Keys live for us tonight. Thank you. You can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have more details on the rising demand at food banks here in the city and right across the country.
Still ahead, how to be safe, smart, and polite online, and when to take a break. Google's Internet Safety Roadshow makes a stop at Immaculata High School. That story coming up.
Well, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. 9 degrees out there in Ottawa, a slightly chilly evening. And I don't know, it's looking pretty spooky in our studios in here. A lot of decorations around the newsroom area. Also where Jackie is tonight, we're going to see some really spooky homes over the next few days, Jackie.
Yeah, really looking forward to this week, Patricia, as we scout for the best decorated homes in and around Ottawa. So tonight we are on Orchard Avenue. It's in Alta Vista. The fascinating thing about this called Lawn of the Dead, it's been around for over 21 years. We will have more on this later on the show. But if you are coming down checking it out, definitely want to bring a thicker jacket because it is getting much chillier now that the sun is setting. And I'd hate to break it to you, but we are getting down to below zero, a little bit below zero for the overnight. The good news is clear conditions right now all throughout eastern Ontario, sitting about 9 to 10 degrees. It is going to get much colder, though. We are going to see temperatures dip down to about -4, and that's really to start off our Tuesday morning. The good news is it will warm up. We will still get plenty of sunshine for our Tuesday. Daytime high anticipated about 11, 12 degrees. So very similar temperatures of what we have seen today. It is Thursday, though, that I want to keep an eye out for.
for, as well as Friday. Thursday, guaranteed that we are going to see some rain showers moving through. Friday, my fingers are still crossed, Patricia, but we are likely going to see a little bit of that rainfall. How much? Still to be determined. We'll have those details and more from here at Orchard Avenue in just a bit.
We are just days away from a crucial vote at City Hall on Lansdowne 2.0 and the project's $419 million price tag. Today, proponents of the project opened the doors to TD Place to show just how badly a new arena and Northside stands are needed. But some are still not convinced. CTV's Leah Larocque is here with more on this, Leah.
Well, Patricia, Ottawa Sports and Entertainment Group want to prove why the city needs a brand new arena. And one of the issues highlighted today was accessibility. And a key question is, can we renovate or do we need to completely rebuild?
TD Place Arena is showing its age.
We'll be highlighting a bunch of different things.
Built in 1967, it presents big challenges to accessibility.
So it's anecdotal, it's personal.
Marnie Peters highlighting barriers fans, staff, and athletes face.
This building was built, not recognizing that people with disabilities would want or should be able to come to events just like anybody else has.
There is only one elevator, little room for wheelchairs.
There we go. I made it.
There are steep ramps, limited accessibility seating, uneven stairs without railings, and some player change rooms don't have accessible washrooms or showers.
It's not a great feeling when you're supposed to be here enjoying it, and yet you always feel like you're getting tripped over or bumped into or always in someone's way.
Building a brand new arena and Northside stands make up the bulk of the massive $419 million Lansdowne 2.0 plan.
So a big question is, why can't you just renovate the Northside stands and the arena and make those necessary upgrades? OSEG says it's because engineers have told them that structurally that's not possible.
Counterbalance some of the misinformation that's been out there. We sat in the sidelines for, most of the summer as it kind of percolated out there. It's not, not good for our business, and it's wrong.
The final report goes to committee on Wednesday, and the debate is expected to be contentious.
The mayor is telling residents that the cost of the stadium is only going to be, I think, $130 million or so. The stadium and the arena are going to cost over $400 million to build.
Some councillors want more time to consider the options.
There is the potential that some revenue might come in to offset that cost, but we need to be transparent about what those revenues are, the likelihood that they're going to come in, and the risks.
So starting on Wednesday, a committee will hear from dozens of delegates as well as city staff. That meeting is expected to spill over to at least Thursday, possibly Friday. If it passes, it goes to council in November for that final decision on whether to give Lansdowne the green light, and shovels could be in the ground by the end of the year. Patricia.
CTV's Leah Larocque live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, turning now to the latest on the trade turmoil escalated by Ontario's anti-tariff ad featuring Ronald Reagan. Premier Doug Ford is standing by his government's decision despite the ad leading to a breakdown in talks between Canada and the U.S.
You know something? Do you know why President Trump's so upset right now? Because it was effective. It was working. It woke up the whole country. There isn't probably, unless you're living underneath a rock down there, probably there isn't one American that hasn't viewed it on social media or on television. And the whole world saw it on the World Series. They saw it on the NFL games last night. So we've achieved our goal.
The ads were pulled today after airing on U.S. networks over the weekend. President Trump is now threatening to impose an additional 10% tariff on all Canadian goods because the ad was not pulled immediately. Prime Minister Carney commented directly on those ads for the first time today.
Those in the room, those exchanging term sheets, those having the discussions about specific areas where we can make mutual progress to the benefit of workers and businesses and communities in our respective countries had been making progress. Those ads came. The president had the reactions which you have seen, made the decisions that he has made, which, those are his decisions to take, and we're in the situation we're in.
Now the U.S. ambassador to Canada is saying he doubts any deal will be made before the new year. It's unclear when the new 10% tariff could take effect. Meantime, after days of pushback, the Ford government says it will not proceed with a proposal that could have made it easier for landlords to end leases. The province wanted to explore security of tenure rules, which could have done away with month-to-month tenancies that occur after a fixed-term lease ends. The Ford government says its goal was to provide landlords with more flexibility and unlock thousands more rental units, but the proposal sparked concern across Ontario about evictions. Well, 50 years ago today, shots rang out at an Ottawa high school, the disturbing event unfolding at St. Pius X on October 27, 1975. It was Canada's second school shooting, and although it has faded from the memories of many, the families of the 3 teenagers who died that day, including the shooter, will never forget. Tonight, one of the survivors who was inside the classroom recounts the day his life was changed forever. Here's CTV's Tyler Fleming now with a special report 5 decades later.
Father Bedore was teaching that religion class.
A half-century has passed, but for Paul Clark, that one day in high school, October 27th, 1975, rings as clear as a bell.
And so when the shooting started, my immediate reaction was that the wall was falling down, that there was a wall falling on top of me. It was so loud.
4 blasts from a sawed-off shotgun fired across Clark's afternoon grade 13 religion class at St. Pius X High School.
There was mayhem in the classroom.
Then one more gunshot rang out from the hallway. The shooter had stepped out, ending his own life.
Somebody picked up a chair and just smashed the window.
It is how Clark and many other classmates escaped classroom 71 on the ground floor.
Not knowing what who was hurt, who had been killed. When we were outside and I heard the name Rob Poulin, I immediately thought that he had been the victim because whoever had been shooting obviously had shot where Rob usually sat.
But it was Robert Poulin who pulled the trigger. 6 students were injured, including Mark Huff, who required emergency brain surgery.
Mark Huff didn't die for about a month. That was weighing on us.
What unfolded at St. Pius was the end of a disturbing tragedy beginning earlier that morning, after Poulin lured 17-year-old Kim Rabo into his basement bedroom. The Glebe Collegiate student was sexually assaulted and murdered. Poulin then set the room on fire before heading to school on his 10-speed bike. Firefighters discovered her body.
I was astounded to find out that he was the one who was the perpetrator.
And in a time before cell phones.
I lived in Aylmer, Quebec at the time. From Pius, you had to take the 71 bus and go all the way downtown. Then you had to take another bus. And I think what I did is I simply got on the bus.
And stunned, like most, by horrific events that rattled authorities and shocked the city. In the coming days, nearly 200 people would turn in their guns to police. Meanwhile, students were expected to return to class.
Now it would be so different. I think a school would probably be closed for a week. And there'd be counseling on site or wherever. I had English class in room 71 the very next day. It had been painted. The windows had all been repaired. It was as if nothing had happened. It was very weird. And then after about 10 minutes, Mr. Crow, the teacher, I think he could see the look in our eyes, and he said, I think that's probably enough for today.
Yeah, there's a photo.
While many called Poulin a loner.
We spent time together at lunch. We went from good friends in grade 11 to grade 13, never seeing him. And so over the years, I've thought about, you know, did he become more withdrawn?
And why?
I've always contended that maybe it was a rash act and that it was a copycat act because the Mississauga or Toronto shooting happened about 6 months earlier, that this was a last-minute thing. However, since we've also learned that the firearm was purchased just a few days before, perhaps it was premeditated.
Back-to-back school shootings, galvanizing events helping to reform Canadian gun laws, leading to a ban on automatic weapons.
People were affected in different ways. We're all the same class.
Life somehow had to go on at St. Pius.
Classmates bonded in tragedy, many who are about to meet again.
1976 is when we graduated, so 2026 is the 50th anniversary of our graduation, so some people are organizing some kind of 50th anniversary. So I wonder what that would be like. knowing what this piece that we lived through. But it was only one piece.
Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
And we have more details on how Ottawa is marking 50 years since the St. Pius school shooting on our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca. A 41-year-old Hawkesbury man is facing an attempted murder charge after a reported assault over the weekend. OPP officers were called to a home on Higginson Street around 3 a.m. Saturday, where they found a man with stab wounds. He was brought to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was arrested several hours later. A 29-year-old man suffered life-threatening injuries after a single-vehicle crash in Brockville. It happened on the Highway 401 overpass on North Augusta Road around 1 a.m. Sunday. Police say the driver was speeding, struck a pole, and rolled over. The driver is now in critical but stable condition in hospital. Well, the Canadian War Museum's chief historian and research director has died. The museum CEO making the announcement over the weekend, saying Tim Cook was instrumental in shaping the museum we know today. He played a large role in several major exhibitions and was a prolific author. His cause of death has not been released. Well, turning now to Jamaica, where officials are bracing for what could be one of the worst storms to ever hit that country. Officials say the storm could pack wind speeds of up to 270 kilometers per hour and bring more than 100 centimeters of rain. It's expected to make landfall tomorrow morning. Evacuation orders have already been issued for several areas across Jamaica. The storm is expected to hit Cuba and the Bahamas later this week. Well, the Toronto Blue Jays are in Los Angeles for Game 3 of the World Series tonight. They will be looking to regain their lead in enemy territory, but there will be some Jays fans in the stands cheering them on, as well as some at the Canadian Tire Centre. Yes, sports fans here in Ottawa may be torn tonight because the Senators are playing at home at the same time, hosting the Boston Bruins at the CTC. Puck drop is 7:45, but fans will not have to miss all of the baseball action. The Sens will be showing the Jays game during intermissions on the big screen at Center Ice, because no one wants to miss this. And CTV's Adrian Gabriel will not in Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium and joins us live now. Dodger Stadium, of course, the home of the 2024 Major League Baseball champions. I know it's loud there, Adrian. Tell me about this atmosphere and how tough this will be for the Jays tonight.
Yeah, well, listen, this is an iconic ballpark here at Dodger Stadium. The sun is shining. Fans are streaming in.
In front of our show, 0-2.
Blue Jays fan, lots of excitement. This is Game 3. Both teams tied up at 1. It's the World Series. You know, the world's media is here as well, shoulder to shoulder, and from Latin America, across the United States, Canada, and beyond. Just a real anticipation ahead of tonight's game right here in Los Angeles. The Jays, as we know, have their hands full. They got Max Scherzer, though, going back to the series game, hoping he can turn back Father Time one more time and pitch a gem for a Blue Jays win.
All right, good stuff. It is incredibly loud. It's a little tough for us to hear you and you to hear us, so we're going to let you go, Adrian. Have a wonderful time tonight, and I'm sure we'll get a chance to talk to you again. Enjoy.
So many Canadians helped to make childhood better for so many children through trick-or-treating tradition with those Halloween boxes.
Well, still to come, been there, done that, got the T-shirt, a new way to honor an old tradition, changing the way kids collect for UNICEF. No change required. Jackie.
Thanks so much, Patricia. You know, all this evening, people have been coming by, enjoying the decor here. I've got Liam, I've got Hazel. Hazel, how many skeletons have you counted here so far?
I think I've counted 8.
8, wow. And then Liam, you have come at least 5 times to this specific house. What is it about this house you love so much?
I like the decorations, and that's so spooky.
Yeah, and like, what do you got here?
A rat.
It's pretty frightening here, and especially as the night continues on. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam showcasing downtown Ottawa. The sun nearly close to setting. It's about 9 degrees.
Our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. Well, many of us are old enough to remember trick-or-treating with those bright orange UNICEF boxes, collecting change for a cause. Now the organization is tapping into that nostalgia, bringing the box back in a more modern way. CTV's Peter Sperling explains.
Trick-or-treat! Trick-or-treat for UNICEF! Trick-or-treat for UNICEF!
It's a Halloween memory, sparking nostalgia for many.
Most definitely. Yeah, it takes me back completely.
Amber Pook remembers trick-or-treating carrying a UNICEF box.
Taking them out on Halloween and that when I was a kid and going to the neighbors and that, trying to get donations.
Collecting pennies, coins for a cause.
I knew that we were raising money and it was going to help people. That's pretty much, that's all I pretty much grasped as a child. But yeah, I knew it was for a good cause.
The box is back.
Back in a different way. UNICEF now reviving the seasonal staple, launching a Halloween box, but with a twist. It's on a t-shirt.
So many Canadians helped to make childhood better for so many children through trick-or-treating tradition with those Halloween boxes. And so they're back in a form you can wear.
The shirt, available online for $50, features a throwback design with a 90s UNICEF box and a built-in QR code for donations.
And we're hoping that parents who may be trick-or-treating with their little ones, who used to wear the box around their neck, might wear one of these shirts, or certainly I'll be handing out candy here at home. That's where I'm going to be wearing mine.
UNICEF says proceeds from shirts will help fund programs across the globe, providing education, safe water, vaccines, healthcare to children who need it most.
It has never actually been a more challenging time to be a child in so many corners of the planet.
Customers at the Halloween section of this party mart in Canada remembering the box well.
From grade 1, I would say, to grade 7. We did the box every year.
Oh, definitely.
Really fun as a kid to go around, and it was almost competitive.
Now returning as a t-shirt, keeping the memories alive. Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Well, it may have been sunny today, but it's certainly a cool start to the week in the capital. While a lot of the leaves have fallen, there are still some amazing fall colors on display across the city, but you'll have to brave those chilly temperatures to see them. They're set to drop below freezing for the next few nights. Starting to turn, for sure. Full look at the forecast now. Out where Jackie is, where it's not the leaves that are spectacular. Jackie?
Yeah, the decor behind me is absolutely stunning, Patricia. And given this time of year, we are just a few days away from Halloween, and this place is just lit up with some Halloween spirit. More on that in just a bit. If you are coming down here to Orchard Avenue, taking in the decor, bring a thicker coat because things are starting to get much chillier, even as the sun has already set. Current temperature, we did see a daytime high of about 12 degrees, and it feels a little bit chillier than the 8-9 degrees we are experiencing. The sun is setting a lot earlier than 6 o'clock nowadays, so the day's definitely getting shorter. Don't be alarmed by the overnight lows. We are getting down to about -4 here in Ottawa, -3 in Brockville, about -4 in Pembroke, as well as Petawawa. So things are definitely chilling in the late evening. The good news is we are still getting lots of sunshine for our Tuesday. Daytime highs averaging throughout pretty much all of eastern Ontario, sitting about 11 degrees, 10 in certain areas, but no sign of precipitation in sight. That's not until the end of the week. We'll tease that for just a little bit. Right now in Atlantic Canada, temperature sitting between 7 and 9 degrees. You could really see that cool Arctic air, not just in Atlantic Canada, but for parts of Quebec and parts of eastern Ontario as well. Still a little bit warmer in Windsor, where it's 11 degrees, and Thunder Bay getting a little bit of warmer conditions than we are, sitting at 11 in sunshine. Meanwhile, as we look to our friends in the prairies, 3 degrees in Edmonton with a little bit of chance of rain, 7 in Calgary with a mix of sun and cloud, -1 in Whitehorse, and we've got Vancouver sitting at 11 degrees. As for our 7-day forecast, brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aids, celebrating over 80 years in family business. You can see that the stretch of sunshine and dry conditions will carry us into the end of the week, but the chilly conditions, as Patricia mentioned, will stick around. -4 for overnight lows. Things are going to warm up by the time we get to Thursday, where the overnight low is only 6 degrees. But with this comes the showers. Yeah, we are anticipating at least 10 to 15 for our Thursday. This will likely carry on into Friday. Fingers crossed that this will change in time for Halloween night, because there is a 60% chance that we could see showers in the evening. So praying to the Halloween spirits that we do get some drier conditions for that evening. But right now, Orchard Avenue is where we're at. Time to check out some Halloween homes. We are going to be hearing from one of the homeowners here. They've been around for 21 years, Patricia. Quite the story they have. In the last 4 years, they have been giving back in a wonderful way to the Ottawa Food Bank. Those details and much more in a bit.
Love it, Jackie. Thank you. Well, coming up, Canadians heading south may soon have their photo taken at the border. We'll have more on what travelers need to know after the break.
Tonight, digging in after terminated trade talks.
I don't regret it at all.
The reaction to a TV spot that complicated Canada's delicate negotiations with the U.S. and what it means for future discussions. Later on CTV National News.
Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. Some big changes are coming for Canadians who travel to the U.S. CTV's Stephen Keys joins us now with the details on this and other stories. Steph?
Patricia, according to the Department of Homeland Security, all non-U.S. citizens, including Canadians, will soon have to be photographed when entering and exiting the United States. The new rules will apply to travelers no matter how they cross, whether it's by land, air, or through a port. It's part of a move to collect biometric data introduced several years ago. The regulations are set to come into effect in December, although they may take years to fully implement. Free COVID-19 and flu shots are now available to the general public in Ontario. As of today, pharmacies, public health units, and participating family doctor and nurse practitioner clinics are offering the vaccines. The shots were already available for higher risk groups. RSV vaccines are also being offered to eligible seniors, pregnant women, infants up to 8 months old, and children up to 2 years old who are at high risk. A promising new drug to treat Alzheimer's gets the green light, but it is being described as costly. Lecanemab is the first drug authorized in Canada to help slow the progression of Alzheimer's. It took more than 2 years for Canada to give the drug its rubber stamp. The medication Canadian doctors currently use targets the disease at the dementia stage, but lecanemab can be used much earlier to slow what can be a rapid decline. It's already approved in 51 countries, including the U.S., where it costs more than $26,000 a year.
Coulonge, Zapater, Sissoko, and Riccianine. Aparicio finds Salter. Of course, the golden boy is there to nod at home.
Atletico Ottawa is heading to the Canadian Premier League final for the second time in club history. Samuel Salter scoring the game-winning goal in the 57th minute yesterday, leading the team to a 2-1 win over Force FC in the semi-final match in Hamilton. Ottawa now has a chance to win the North Star Cup. They will host the final at TD Place on November 9th. Patricia.
They have had some great success. Good for them.
Yes.
Always great when they can keep the soccer season going until the pumpkins are rotting.
That's
well
right.
into November.
Then we can kick those around.
Kick those around, yeah. The pumpkins are fresh right now, though, and looking spectacular out where Jackie is checking out some of the best haunted homes in Ottawa. Halloween homes. I don't think they're haunted, Jackie, those
Let's
homes.
hope not.
I didn't think that before, Patricia, but now I'm going to be asking everyone I go to this week, is your house haunted? Let's start with the first home for tonight on Orchard Avenue. Christian McPherson, we want to put out there, is your house haunted with all this decor?
Maybe. I don't know. Probably not.
No, in the 21 years that you have been doing this year's theme is Lawn of the Dead, and perhaps you've just seen prop ghosts, not real ghosts.
Correct.
Talk to us about the inspiration. You are a Halloween enthusiast, I hear.
I am, and I've always loved it. And it's when I moved into this house, it was like I can't wait to decorate my lawn because I had a condo before. So anyway, I've been doing this for 21 years, probably a result of childhood trauma, being taken to horror movies when I shouldn't have been.
Is that trauma? Is that excitement, enthusiast? I love the games that you have here. You got I Spy for children. We played the game of how many skeletons. We saw 40. What else do you love here that people should keep an eye out for that may not be keen to the first eye?
I got some very funny tombstones, so those are fun. So the most important thing I have on my lawn is the donation to the food bank.
Yes, let's talk about this. I do notice that there is a bin here. You are taking non-perishable items for all visitors.
Yep.
What else do we have?
And there's a QR code, which will take you to a website, to the food bank, and you can donate money. I've also paired with another Halloween house on Orlando, so he has the same QR code as me. And yeah, the goal is $2,500, and we're 75% of the way there.
I love that. And you guys have been doing this, just the food bank, the Ottawa Food Bank donations for the last 4 years. Just talk about what you would like to see on Halloween night as you welcome hundreds of kids to this haunted or Halloween home.
Oh, I mean, I'm just happy to see everyone in costume and enjoying the lawn. And I also would love to see if you could bring a can of non-perishable food and or hit the QR code. That would be awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Christian. I really appreciate you inviting us to your neighborhood here. How cool is this, Patricia? We've also got some people coming in and now checking this out. This is a tradition for a lot of families to check out Halloween decorated homes, including the one here on Orchard Avenue.
And scaring people into donating is absolutely the right thing to do this time of year. Love that. Thank you, Jackie.
I think it's important for us to learn safety at a young age.
Well, still to come, teaching kids the tools they need to rock the internet, and Google should know. Their Roadshow online safety tour stops in Ottawa next.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, as many parents know, kids are using the internet at much younger ages, which means online safety skills are becoming just as important as math and reading. Google is bringing hands-on lessons to Ottawa students, showing them how to stay safe and kind while exploring the digital world. Here's CTV's Josh Morano.
Inside Ottawa's Immaculata High School, grade 4 to 6 students are getting a crash course in internet safety.
It's really important for us to be internet safe because we're just kids and we're students.
And they should be unique for every website.
Google trainers teaching kids to protect their passwords and personal information.
Kids these days are online more than we ever were. So to make the best out of the web, we believe kids should be equipped with decision-making power, so to make the right decisions.
We need to learn how to keep our things safe and how to not lose your items, lose your address, or just be in danger.
The lessons also focusing on empathy and treating others with respect.
We want them to be as safe as possible online, and we want them to learn the skills and to build the competencies to be able to be online.
The Ottawa Catholic School Board says families should stay involved, even if their kids are tech savvy.
We want to make sure our kids leave our system prepared and understand the implications and innovations that come with technology and how they can grow and leave a positive digital footprint in the world.
What's important for parents is to be there, to keep the lines of communication open, to set with, as a family, to decide how you're going to use technology in your home, what those rules are.
Students say they'll be putting these new skills into action right away.
To not use the same password for everything. I may or may not do that, but
I feel like this makes me feel more safe about going on there.
Google's online safety roadshow will visit more schools in Ottawa and across Canada. Josh Morano, CTV News.
Well, Amazon is reportedly set to cut tens of thousands of jobs. That story just ahead from our BNN Bloomberg newsroom. Well, on Wednesday, Amazon is expected to report earnings, but before that, the tech giant may be cutting its workforce. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has the details.
There is a report tonight that Amazon will be cutting 30,000 jobs and that it starts tomorrow. Reuters is reporting management jobs are being slashed, and the cut represents about 10% of Amazon's corporate staff. The last time Amazon cut this deep was in late 2022 and early 2023 when it shed 27,000 jobs. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 71.48. West Texas Intermediate crude is up to 61.58. Western Canadian Select is down 27 cents to 48.72. And the TSX lost 77 points today to end the day at 30,275. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Coming up, Ottawa residents show off their Blue Jays spirit. More on how people across the city are cheering on the team. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Patricia. Sometimes you hope that some of this Halloween decoration, maybe you don't hope it comes to life. Just kidding. We've got some kids here hanging out. We've got, who we have? We have Lennox. We have
Leo.
And we have Lane and Leo. What brings you down here tonight?
We saw this house on TV, so we want to come check it out.
Love to hear that. And do you have a favorite item up here, the decoration?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's that big guy over there.
The big guy, known as the huge skeleton, all lit up here. And you can come check it out on Orchard Avenue all week long. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. The sun has fully set on this Monday evening. It's a chilly one out there, about 8-9 degrees for you.
Tomorrow on CTV Your Morning Ottawa, Canada's central bank is set to make its latest interest rate announcement this week. We break down what to expect. Wake up the right way with Your Morning Ottawa starting at 6.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's what's on CTV tonight. It's pretty simple. Tracker, The Voice, and another episode of Tracker. And here's a recap of the top stories we are following right now.
And I started going downstairs, kicking doors, and they evacuated everybody from the basement. And I came back outside to get some more air because I was getting smoke there in my lungs.
The Ottawa Police Arson Unit is investigating 2 fires that broke out over the weekend, including one at an Orleans home that left several people displaced.
There was mayhem in the classroom. Somebody picked up a chair and just smashed the window.
Ottawa marks 50 years since a shooting at St. Pius X High School. The violent incident left 3 teenagers dead, including the shooter, and forever altered the lives of many others.
How can we thrive as a country? How can we meet the challenges that are facing Canada if a quarter of our population is food insecure?
A new report shows food bank use is on the rise in Canada. Now 1 in 3 people relying on food banks are children. A final check on the weather on this chilly Monday night of Halloween week. We go back out to Jackie.
Patricia, it's actually going to get much colder as well. If we think right now is cold, our lows are actually going to happen early on our Tuesday morning, where waking up it's going to be -2, but it's going to feel closer to -4 when you factor in the wind chill. Yeah. It's that time of year where we're now factoring the wind chill. Daytime high 11 degrees. And then we're going to carry on this trend well into Thursday, where we'll start to see some showers roll in, anticipating between 10 to 15 millimeters of rain. Keeping an eye on Friday, though, there are showers in the forecast. Hopefully this will change. Daytime high will be 11 degrees for a Halloween Friday. Well, that's it for us here on Orchard Avenue. We had a blast checking out the first of many Halloween homes. And a reminder for this one on Orchard Avenue, feel free to bring in a non-perishable food item if you are stopping by, or you can even take out your phone, take a look at that QR code, and also hit the link and donate a couple of dollars here or there to the Ottawa Food Bank. The goal here, $2,500. It's not just here at Orchard Avenue. Patricia and Stefan, they are also partnering with a house on Orlando Avenue.
Really nice. Just that easy to donate. And Jackie, we're going to invite you to come on back and warm up with a little World Series baseball tonight. Thanks for this. We want to check in and see what our team is working on for tonight. Stefan Keys will be here for the 11:30 newscast.
Yeah, that was certainly a treat for the food bank. There's a couple that got tricked out of a lot of money, Patricia. Tonight we'll have a consumer alert that will likely break your heart as seniors continue to be the unsuspecting target of scammers. It started with a pop-up on their computer, but a couple in their 70s say they were groomed by scammers over a period of 5 months. Eventually, they were defrauded out of more than $1 million. The money was their life savings, and the couple says they are financially ruined and that the cost of recovering the money is almost zero. Join us tonight for CTV News at 11:30 for that story and more. And if that's past your bedtime, you can always catch up and watch a broadcast tomorrow on our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca. Patricia.
Yeah, there's a few of us for whom it's maybe past our bedtime. All right, finally for us tonight, these guys are the ones I'm talking about. The entire country cheering on Canada's baseball team. We've been asking viewers to show us their Blue Jays spirit, and a group of Ottawa students are doing just that. So cute. The grade 1 class at Westwind Public School in Stittsville singing the OK Blue Jays song during the morning announcements. A lot of you have sent photos of your kids decked out in Blue Jays gear. This is amazing. Even the pets cheering on the team. Still time. You can submit those photos. 3 more games. Enjoy the game tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow.